What's good, y'all? This is Jeaux, also known as Complex Black Boy, the creator of BlackBoiComplex, and you have now tuned in to the BlackBoiComplex. And this shit is complex. Today is August 30th. A few things has happened. Afropunk has gone by. I did the Philly Trans Wellness Conference. I also did another complex conversation, so it was session 2. In Brooklyn, so that was enjoyable. You guys know the deal. It's hot as fuck, so I can't put the AC on, so I have to cool down in other ways so that I do not disturb the noise. So this might be a little bit of ASMR, this might be a little bit of mukbang or however you pronounce that, but yeah, so that's what we're on right now. A lot of things have happened, so let's just really quickly do a recap. The last time that I did a video was definitely in July, or at least the beginning of July. First off, shout out to everybody who came through and enjoyed the pull up with me. Black Trans TV and BlackBoiComplex collaborated to create an amazing event for an after party for the people, the Black and queer people of color who were going to Trans Wellness Conference. So we wanted to provide something for them. So that's exactly what we did. We had a really good time. Thank you to everybody who came out. I made a t-shirt, very first prototype. It's the front, it's the back. So let me know what you think. I am considering putting merch out. So, you know, if you're fucking with the t-shirts, drop a comment down below. Go back to Philly Trans Wellness Conference. That has been my second time attending. The first time I actually was just residually around. So this is actually my first time attending the Trans Wellness Conference and in Philadelphia, and it was a little bit too much, I must say. It was very overwhelming. I helped Black Trans TV record their event and was supporting the trans capitalists, so shout out to Kenny. But yeah, it was definitely a lot. There were way more white people than I could have ever wanted. It was definitely a lot, to be honest. I'm glad that we did the pull-up because I needed that shit for my damn self. So a lot of white people talking over you. You know, it made me realize that, I mean, it's something that I already know, but being a part of the LGBTQAI community is great, but there's still that underlining issue that is race, right? And it's a lot. It really is a fucking lot. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing or where you are. There's always going to be that systemic white cloud that just hovers over you and kind of keeps you from feeling free, feeling safe, being able to be vulnerable. So that was definitely something that I didn't want to do. And honestly, I choose, and not many people are like me. Not many organizations are like me. If I would even call myself an organization, whatever, but not many platforms are like mine. It's not even that I don't prioritize white people or whiteness, because that's a fucking given. And I want you guys to know that that's a given. I don't even want it around me. I don't even want it around me. And that's why I had to create BlackBoiComplex, not Black Complex of Color or no shit like that. This is specifically for Black folks. I'm catered and everything that I do is for Black folks. So when I'm around whiteness, it gets a little stressful for me because I just know, like, I'm really not with the shits, and I just know that something is going to fucking trigger me. But I'm trying to learn how to navigate a little bit differently and consider things a little bit differently, but I'm rambling. So Philly Trans Wellness Conference was a little overwhelming, but I'm glad I went. There's a lot of things that I learned, a lot of great people that I met and collaborated with, exchanged information with, and I really just enjoyed myself in general. So just being around particular people. So shout out to Black Trans TV. So shout out to everybody who I met at the Philly Trans Wellness Conference. You guys know who you are. It was very nice meeting you. I hope to really, meet with you, collaborate, work with you guys really, really soon. It was such a treat. What else happened? So I had a complex conversations in Brooklyn That was July 25th. So I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, the recording, the audio for Complex conversations is not of quality, and I don't want to, put it out. It's going to be super difficult to hear. It's going to be really complicated to try to scrub and do a whole bunch of audio engineering. That's not something that I'm skilled in. If anybody wants to lend their services, then that's something that we can most certainly talk about. Hit me up in the comments down below. But so far, I'm not comfortable giving you guys that type of quality. It was on a rooftop, which I already knew. What I didn't know is that it was in the pathway of airplanes flying back into LaGuardia. That was too much. Just every 5 minutes, it was an airplane. I didn't know that. If I would have known that, then situations would have been different, and I probably would have found another venue, on top of the fact that it was a very, very, very windy day. So the audio is not good, but I learned a lesson, and now I know that it must be closed spaces, and I must be able to control the audio and make sure that it at least is a controlled environment as far as the quality of audio that I'll be able to deliver to you guys. So unfortunately, that Complex Conversations has been, I'm scrubbing it until I can find a better way to do it. But it was such a wonderful discussion, and I think everybody who came out really appreciate it. It was literally all Black people, or people of color, but I do believe it was everyone was of the diaspora. So it was really amazing, really heartwarming, and it was really great to be among community. So thank you to everybody who came out. Tune in for the next one. We're aiming for October or November. Okay, so keep in mind that that's coming up. And we'll be doing it in a closed space, obviously. Now that we've recapped on that, if you haven't noticed, I cut my hair, so there's that too. I just needed a change. My birthday's coming up, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. I want to allow new, fresh energy to come into my life. All that noise in the background is a dog that I'm fostering, Chi-Chi. So if you hear that, he's in here with me, just moving around. So I'm also fostering a dog to see if I want one. I don't want to commit yet, so this is a good way for me to semi-commit. So that's a little bit about a recap. Now, this episode of Black Boy Complex is going to be called Trauma Drama. All right, there's been a whole bunch of dramatic, unnecessary bullshit that's been going on within the community, whether it be the Black community, whether it be the queer community. There's just been a whole bunch of bullshit happening. So I think it's really, and I also, for those who might also know, I also got into it with somebody who, I guess, a community platform who prides themselves on queerness, and, well, at least did pride themselves on being inclusive. I would hope. I don't know. So there's a whole bunch of drama going on. And I think it's very important to ask, like I talked about in the exploitation video, we need to ask ourselves, if we're going to throw events, what am I doing this for? Who am I doing this for? Am I doing this with the people in mind? But now it's time to, when it comes to these organizations, when it comes to these festivals, when it comes to any platform, to ask them the same question. Who are you doing this for? What is the purpose of this? Is this based off of profit? Are you doing this to better the community? Like, really, what is your mission here? What are you trying to accomplish? And I think it's worth looking into, really asking these questions. Now, sometimes you ask these questions and these organizations lie, right? And that's what's really fucking with us. That's what's really fucked up, is because a lot of these companies, organizations, platforms, they show themselves as one thing, and then their actions show otherwise. So let's talk about the first thing that happened that made me realize it. And I am going to call this platform out. I'm going to call this platform out. They need to be called out. I I don't know them personally. I just know the platform from Instagram. It is called Queer Bazaar. And a few months back, they had an interview with, I believe it's Lesbionics. And I'll put their information down below if you want to check out Lesbionics' page. I don't think they took down the article, but they had an interview with Queer Bazaar, with the founder of Queer Bazaar. And they were saying some really transphobic, they were saying some really hurtful, very inappropriate things about, in general, womanhood. It was a very cis-powered interview about how much they love women, and what they said was that the interviewer asked Queer Bazaar about a t-shirt, and it was going to say femme, F-E-M-M-E. And they asked them, why do you choose that word? And they said, well, because, they went in about how they're a woman and they love women and whatever. But they were talking about cisgendered women. They weren't talking about all women. They were just talking about cisgendered women. And so the community felt some type of way about it. And it made a lot of us wonder, well, what was this person doing? They were calling themselves Queer Bazaar, but it really seemed as though they were, and there were other things that they said as well, and there were other issues before and after this interview happened that made people really believe, well, this person really only gives a fuck about cisgendered women and really nothing else. And whether that be the truth or whether it not be the truth, honestly, doesn't truly matter if you're saying things that make it seem as though you are not inclusive. So when people called this person out, they became very violent, very dismissive, calling people liars, calling people all types of names, trying to discredit them, trying to basically defamation in certain instances, and specifically my own. So I am the type of person that holds everybody accountable. I hold you accountable. I hold me accountable. It's something that just needs to happen. And so that's something that I really wanted to make sure that I did, that I stood my ground and said something. And I think it's important to do that. So Queer Bazaar happened. It was a really unfortunate event. I don't know if they're doing any more events, but I would highly suggest if you ever go to any of those events or anybody's events, really make sure, don't be afraid to slide in their DMs and ask some questions. Is this an inclusive event? How do you plan on making this safe? How do you plan on, what makes this an inclusive event? Will cisgendered heterosexual men be there? Ask your questions. Feel free to ask your questions. If a company, if a platform, if an organization is advertising themselves as one thing, feel free to follow up just to make sure that they mean it. Hold them accountable, ask them questions so that if they fall by the wayside, you can say, well, wait a minute, you said, so that happened. Then, also in the community, another thing happened. So a sibling of mine, K.Martinez, who I met a few times back in Boston, was the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the Mazzoni Center in Philadelphia. And they recently got fired from their position. The reason for Martinez's termination was a disagreement with Mazzoni Center management. So you can check out there's so many different organizations and news media outlets that covered this. Philly Mag, EPGN.com. Let's see. I think Philadelphia. There's another one too, but there's a few. So PGN.com. So that's Philadelphia Gay News has the latest article, but you can find out so much information about what's going on now. Obviously, there's still Mazzoni Center is still under wraps, but their reason for firing K.Martinez was a disagreement between K.Martinez and the Mazzoni Center management team, which resulted in unprofessional conduct that was inconsistent for someone in their role. All right, so that seems really fucking vague to me. And the Mazzoni Center has a reputation for pretty much failing queer and trans people of color. There's been a few instances in which they have done something and behaved very questionably when it comes to putting on and making sure that they're doing what they need to do to protect and care for the queer communities, especially with black queer and trans folks of color. So it's really important that that we don't let this down, this is something that is ongoing. This article was published today. And K.Martinez did file a complaint with the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations, which is very important. And they publicly accused Mazzoni Center of wrongful termination. Just to be clear, K.Martinez identifies as a trans Afro-Latinx. So it's super important. This is the first time in 30 years that they've ever had, number one, an Afro-Latinx trans person be in such a role, which is obviously fucking needed. But second, then they go and fire the person off of some fuck shit. So this definitely needs to be investigated. And a shout out to K.Martinez for holding these people accountable. They have a hashtag on Instagram and all over social media, which is "We Will Not LGBT Quiet," spelled out just like that. And I implore you to follow them. I'll put their information down below to kind of see how the journey is going. We might be having an exclusive interview coming up. But this is really fucking important. There are so many organizations out there that are doing our people wrong, that are getting the funding and not putting it towards people of color. Black, queer, and trans folks, or trans and queer folk of color, they are the ones that need the most care, the most safety, the most love, the most funding. And they're never getting it. They're never getting it. And that is very disheartening, and it's fucked up, because no matter what, you can have literally someone in a role who is supposed to be helping, and when they hold the organization accountable for not doing what they say that they're going to do, they get fucking fired. It's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. It's fucking disrespectful, and we need this shit to fucking stop. So Mazzoni Center, I don't know who the fuck y'all are. I don't know who the fuck y'all thought y'all are, but y'all definitely got the wrong one, all right? Because I know too many people in Philly, too many amazing people in Philly, and I know K.Martinez, and that person is a fucking awesome ass person, straight up, like hands down. They are a great person, full of love, and I don't think they would ever do anything that I feel would put their position at stake if they didn't feel that it was necessary to say something. We should be able to speak up. We should be able to hold people accountable. And it's not okay that when we do, right, that we're retaliated against. All right. So that's not fucking happening. So shout out to you, K.Martinez. We will not LGBT quiet. Okay. Facts, facts, facts. But yeah, so fuck you, Mazzoni Center, and everybody else who is backing them up, because this is not the first time. And I'm telling you now, if they let this happen this way, it will most certainly not be the last time. Okay? And this needs to stop. So yeah. That's about K.Martinez. That's what's happening down in Philly. That's what's happening in the nonprofit world right now. And if this is something that you've experienced as well, drop a comment down below. If you've heard of a story like this, drop a comment down below. If you fucking with K, drop a comment down below. I'm sure they're probably going to watch this video. Let them know what's good. Let them know you support them. We will not be LGBT quiet. So that, although it won't be the last of that. Finally, I wanted to talk about Afropunk. Okay. Afropunk. What the fuck, bro? So, Afropunk happened last weekend, so 23rd, 24th, or something like that. I'm not pulling up my calendar. But there was an issue. First off, I don't know if you know who Ericka Hart is, but Ericka Hart is a sex educator and activist. They have an amazing partner, Ebony Donnley. They both decided to go to Afropunk on Sunday. They had an interview, so that's exactly what the fuck they did. Wasn't no problem. So Ebony Donnley, Ericka Hart's partner, walked into Afropunk VIP section with Ericka and a friend with a t-shirt that says, Afropunk sold out for white consumption. I want y'all to tell me what a fuck the lie is. That's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to tell me what a lie is. I don't understand. With boycott Red Apple Nails on the back. A Red Apple Nail salon, primarily owned by Asian women. I don't know what country they're from, but they're definitely Asian. And they pretty much physically assaulted a black woman in their own salon because the woman was not happy with her nails and voiced her opinion on it. Threw acetone in her face and all of that. It's fucking a horrendous atrocity. So, you know, Afropunk. I mean, I remember going back to Afropunk back in 2012, and it was, you know, when they started doing it at Commodore Barry Park, because before they did that at the BAM. But it was very fucking Afro and very fucking punk, and I can't think of anything more punk than being vocal about your disdain, being vocal about what you're not happy about, resisting, protesting. Like, come the fuck on. Being queer is punk as shit. Anyway, so Ebony wore that shirt, and I'll post a picture so you guys can see it. And Ebony and Ericka walked into VIP, and a few people saw the shirt, and apparently the owner or the co-founder, Matthew Morgan, found it. He walked up to her and said, "This is my house. They have to go. They have to get out." Did not like the shirt at all. If you don't like when people tell you about your own faults, then maybe you should find another outlet and another thing to do. No one is above criticism. The universe gets criticized all the motherfucking time. Everybody is open for the fucking criticism. I'm open for it. You're open for it. Regardless whether you like it or not, everyone is open for criticism. Afropunk did sell out for white consumption. If somebody could be an Afropunk with this shirt that says Anglo-punk with Afro crossed out and Anglo written over it, why can't Ebony Donnelly have a shirt that says Afropunk sold out for white consumption? There are women who had shirts on that said make Afropunk free again, or something along those lines. And apparently the Matthew Morgan walked up to them and confronted them. Like, first off, why is the owner walking around confronting people for voicing their opinion and being Afropunk? They're being Afropunk, and you're confronting them for being Afropunk because you don't like it, because it doesn't fit into your agenda, because it does not cater to the white patriarchal bullshit that you are pretty much compromising all of your morals for. All of your, if you have any, all of your ethics for, if you have any. You've turned your whole program, you've turned Afropunk into a motherfucking joke. And then you want to get mad when people call you out on it. You want to traumatize people. All of this is trauma. Queer Bazaar is trauma. Mazzoni Center is fucking trauma. And this shit is fucking trauma. Trauma, goddamn drama. It's fucking tired. I'm tired of having these organizations come up to us, reach out for us, say they need us, they want us support, they want this, they want that, they want this, they want that, but then can't meet us at just being fucking basically just good to us and kind to us and understanding and respectful. That's all we fucking ask for from these organizations and these platforms. That's all we ask for. We're not coming at their fucking throats. No one's like, if anyone has any criticism about these organizations, they're honest, true criticisms that deserve to be looked at, analyzed, and changed, or at least talked about. Let's have why can't we have a conversation about it? Why does everything have to be so black or white on the spectrum? Why can't we as black queer folks voice our opinions and you listen to them? Oh, I know why. My bad. It's because they're not valuable to you. Oh. Because they're not valuable to you. Oh, why didn't you just say that? Oh, because we give you money. That's why. Mazzoni Center couldn't be like, you know what? Fuck black, queer, and trans people. Fuck them. They couldn't say that, could they? They'd lose their funding. Queer Bazaar couldn't say, you know what? Fuck trans women. I'm not really fucking with them. I'd rather just fuck cis women, and I don't really see trans women as women, and that's just really what it is. She couldn't say that. Afropunk can be like, you know what? Fuck black people. Y'all cute, but white people's really where the money's at. We should start letting them niggas in and call it Anglo-punk for real. I think that's a good idea. Can't say that. As much money as they make? Why would they do that? My call to action is that we hold these motherfuckers accountable. And I'm not just talking about, hey, this is fucked up. I'm talking about calling them, emailing them, spamming their social media pages. I'm talking about not supporting them. We're not giving them any financial access. We're not giving them any of our fucking money. We're not reposting. We're not retweeting. We're not even going on their page and giving them views. Yes, that matters. I'm saying Afropunk, Queer Bazaar, I'm saying Mazzoni Center, and whoever the fuck else wants smoke with queer black people, tell them to fucking bring it, because I say that we fucking boycott the shit out of their asses. That's what I say. We say fuck them, fuck their fuck ass organizations and their fuck ass platforms, because we don't need them. They need fucking us. They need us. Where would these companies, platforms, organizations be without us? Even when we go to them for freedom and support and happiness and love and a good time, they still need us to go and do that, right? And like I said in the last video, we can create our own things. We don't like how Afropunk is treating us. At one point, it was a grassroots thing. We could bring that shit back again. We don't like the way that Mazzoni Center treat us. Fuck that. We're going to search and get our own funding in other places. We're going to petition proposals. We're going to get grants. I know it sounds hard and it's a really big feat, but it needs to happen. Not only just for our happiness and our well-being, but for the security of our future, of our children, of the children. It's worth giving it a fucking shot. But all this traumatic shit that these organizations are doing to us, these platforms, these festivals, fuck them. How dare they even let white people in Afropunk, honestly? Or how dare they let them get tickets and black people can't even get tickets? Black people should be the only ones getting tickets. It should be white people paying $400 fucking dollars. Why they ban the community out? There's projects right outside of Commodore Berry Park. They'll never be able to go to Afropunk ever again with the way these prices is looking. So fuck them. That's pretty much all I gotta say. So shout out to Ericka. Shout out to Ebony. Shout out to Lorelei. Because she was with them as well. And they all got kicked out of VIP. And that's really fucked. It's really fucked. And I'm not talking about this just because I'm close and these are my friends. I'm talking about this because this is shit that happens to people all the time. You're hearing this from the director of Mazzoni Center. The director. You're hearing this from Ericka fucking Hart. A famous, not only activist, but sex educator. You're hearing this from her. What about the people who don't have the voices that this happens to every day? What about the people who don't have the voices that have to deal with and internalize these trauma? The ones that don't have anyone to go home to. The ones that people don't reach out to. What about them? We gotta stop doing it. We're not doing this shit for us. I'm not doing this shit for me. I'm doing this shit for y'all and everybody else who gotta deal with the shit. So yeah, we off that shit. It's done. It's over. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know this has probably been fucking almost an hour long fucking video, and I do apologize. Had a lot to catch up on. So tune in to BlackBoiComplex. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for all updates, events, and future goings-ons. And yeah, I'll post a link to Ericka's Instagram, because Ebony doesn't have one, so I'll post a link to Ericka and everyone's social media pages. The hashtag is We Will Not Be LGBT Quiet. So yeah, check me out. Follow me on my Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, at Complex Black Boy. And yeah, and once again, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. You just tuned into the Black Boy Complex. Peace.